All right, let's talk about teaching our kids to save. But what if I told you we're going to uncover some tools that are, well, they're surprisingly powerful? We're not just talking about building good habits here, we're talking about generating some seriously impressive returns. And I mean really impressive.
Okay, so let's just jump right in with a question that sounds, well, it sounds a little bit crazy, right? Can your kid's savings account actually literally out-earn your high-yield account? You might think no way, but stick with me because the answer is going to surprise you. The answer? It's a big, fat yes. I'm not kidding. Right now, the top youth savings account in the country is offering this. Just look at that number. To put that into perspective for you, that's more than double, yeah, double, what most of the best high-yield savings accounts for us adults are paying. It's wild. So, the big question is, where in the world can you find rates like this? And there's got to be a catch, right? Well, let's dive into the details and find out.
And yeah, there is one big catch you've got to know about before we see the list. These amazing rates, think of them as a starter pack, a promotional tool to get kids excited about saving. They usually only apply to the first, say, $500 or maybe $1,000 you put in. Anything over that cap earns a much, much lower rate. So it's really designed to supercharge those initial savings.
Okay, and here's the proof. Check this out. Spectra Credit Union is just leading the pack by a mile at over 10% on that first $1,000. But look, even below that, you've got several others offering fantastic rates. We're talking 5 to 7%. This is just such a powerful way to kickstart a kid's savings and, show them the magic of compound interest right out of the gate. Okay, so you're probably thinking, that's great for the first round, but what happens when my kid saves up more from birthdays or chores? Good question. For those larger balances, you can look at options like Alliant or Capital One. They don't have those crazy high rates, but they also don't have balance caps. And their rates are still super competitive, and they apply to the entire amount. All right, we've seen the eye-popping rates. Now let's get into the nitty-gritty. How do these accounts actually work? There's some fine print, a few key rules you'll definitely want to know before you jump in.
So the first big term you need to know is custodial account. Sounds fancy, but all it really means is that you, the adult, are the custodian. You manage the account for your child. So they get to see the money grow, which is awesome, but you're the one in control until they legally become an adult, which is usually at 18. And being the custodian comes with some really important rules. First up, any money that goes into that account, it legally belongs to the child. It's what's called an irrevocable gift. No takebacks. That money also has to be used for their benefit. Think education, summer camp, maybe their first car down the road. And here's the cool part. Anyone can gift the money, but only you, the custodian, can manage it and make withdrawals. Now, with all this interest piling up, you've got to be asking about taxes, right? Yep, there's something you need to know about called the kiddie tax. It's a special tax that applies to what's called a child's unearned income. And guess what? The interest from a savings account is the perfect example of unearned income. But don't panic. Here's the good news. For 2025, check this out. The first $1,350 your kid earns in interest is completely tax-free, zero tax. After that, the next little chunk is taxed at their own super low rate. It's only when their interest income gets over $2,700 a year that it starts getting taxed at your higher rate. So honestly, for most kids just starting out, they're going to stay right in that beautiful tax-free zone. Okay, I know what some of you are thinking. You saw that list of credit unions and thought, well, I don't live there, I can't join. But hold on, most of these places have a super simple way in. They let anyone in the US join if you become a member of a partner nonprofit, and that's often free or might cost a tiny donation. So bottom line, these amazing accounts are pretty much accessible to everyone.
So is one of these high-yield savings accounts the only option, the best choice no matter what? Well, not necessarily. It really depends on your goals. Let's quickly stack it up against a couple of other popular choices to see what might be the right fit for you. So you've got the youth savings account over here. Think of it as the all-purpose fund. It's super flexible, the money can be used for anything. Then you've got the 529 plan, which is like a specialist. It's laser-focused on education. The huge advantage of a 529 is taxes. The money grows and comes out completely tax-free for school expenses. That's a big deal. Plus, you, the parent, always stay in control, which is a key difference from a savings account that automatically becomes the child's at age 18. And then there's another heavy hitter, the custodial brokerage account. This is for when you're playing the long game. This is where you can actually invest your kids' money in the stock market. We're talking stocks, bonds, ETFs, the whole shebang. Now, the trade-off is obvious, right? You're taking on market risk, but the potential for much, much higher returns over the long haul is huge. And yep, just like with savings, those big investment gains can also get hit by the kiddie tax. Okay, you've seen the incredible rates, you know the rules, so what now? If you're thinking, I'm in, let's do this, you're probably wondering how to actually get started. And the best part? It is so simple.
It really boils down to just 3 easy steps. Step 1, compare the accounts we talked about. Look at the APY, the balance caps, any fees, and just pick the one that feels right for you. Step 2, get your paperwork ready. You'll need your kid's social security number and birth date, plus your own ID. And step 3, apply. You can usually just do it online, and honestly, you can probably get it done in just a few minutes.
You know, when you really think about it, this is about so much more than just grabbing a high interest rate. It's about giving a kid their very first tangible lesson in the power of saving. It's about letting them see their money grow. This is the first step, that foundational block for a lifetime of smart financial habits. So the real question isn't just about accounts and rates. It's what kind of financial future are you going to help them start building today?